the Nothing company is planning on putting out a Nothing Phone 2A, which would, I guess, theoretically be similar to this, just with watered down specs. We did get some news here that's kind of surprising, right? Because here's the one thing I was like, well, if they make it cheap, and we do know some of the specs, I reported on that, like I said last week, and I'll briefly go over them. But I was wondering, are they going to keep the iconic see-through back? Because it wouldn't be a Nothing phone without the clear see-through back. That's just a fact. That's the staple of their line. Even with their earbuds, um, you get the see-through earbuds, all that good stuff. So wouldn't be a Nothing phone without the see-through back. So that's what I was wondering. Is it still going to have the see-through back? It appears they are, with a catch. Now, the Pixel 7a, well, I guess the upcoming Pixel 8a will look nearly identical to this. Same design language with the camera bar horizontally, and then you have a cutout where your sensors are right here, obviously, right? So the 8a would look fairly similar to this, just with a little watered down specs. So that's what I was wondering. Is the phone 2a going to look like this with just watered down specs? And it looks like we got a little more clarity. The same person that put out the rumor that they were making the 2A, and there are documented evidence of internal documents from Nothing showing that they're planning on making a watered down version of this. But I was wondering, are the sensors going to be the same, or is the back going to be clear? Well, it looks like we got a little clarity on that. Speaking of clear, let me share the screen. But a little surprising news, right? So check this out. The Nothing Phone 2A could have a Galaxy S10 inspiration. The apparent cheaper Nothing phone could look like a cross between the Nothing Phone 2 and the Galaxy S10. Do y'all remember what the Galaxy S10 looks like? And actually, you could say the Pixel drew inspiration from the S10, because the Samsung Galaxy S10 wasn't the very first phone with a horizontal camera setup. LG's had a couple devices. I think Motorola has had and possibly Nokia has had horizontal camera sensors. But Samsung was the first very popular device that was widely purchased worldwide with the horizontal camera setup. So let's look at the S10 for those of y'all that don't remember. If you just Google S10, the pickup truck pops up. That happened to me the last couple of days, just doing research, because there's I think the Chevy S10's a pickup. Okay, so look, let me share this tab instead. So here's what the Galaxy S10 looks like. Images. Y'all remember this? It's the horizontal camera setup. Again, very similar to this. So that makes you wonder, right? So how would the Nothing Phone 2A look like? We know, sorry, right here. It has the horizontal camera bar setup right on the back. Again, very similar to this Pixel 8 Pro, or the Pixel line series, period, from now, have the horizontal bar. Just Samsung was the first company to make that very popular, recognizable. So getting back to this, we do know the phone 2A is going to have a 6.7 inch AMOLED display. But going back to the A series for Google, Nothing's gonna do an A series, but it's not gonna follow the same foundation as Google. Google's A series are smaller. and the specs are quite watered down, which is kind of a head scratcher for nothing, because if you look at the specs for the upcoming 2A, very, very similar to their current flagship device. It's going to have a 6.7-inch full HD, I think it's HD plus 1080p plus AMOLED display. This is a 6.7-inch full HD 1080p plus AMOLED display. Now, this has LTPO, where the refresh rate goes down almost, it goes down very low to help save battery life when you're not using the device. But when your screen is on, right? So I think this new phone 2A is not going to have an LTPO display, because they have to cut costs somewhere. They have to save money somewhere. And let me show you the specs here. Okay, that's the gray version. So it says the S10 will get it says the phone 2A will get a Galaxy S10 like rear camera design. Otherwise, the phone is said to borrow design elements from the Nothing Phone 1 and 2. So what's similar between the phone 1 and the phone 2? It's got a flat front display, flat back display, and it's flat around the sides. So I expect the 2A to have that same design language. It has a clear back. I expect the 2A to have the same design language. Now, let me see if I can pull the specs from the leaked document. Oh, there you go. There's a nice, ooh, that red looks good. Okay, here we go. The phone 2A is going to have a 6.7-inch 120 hertz OLED screen. Same as this. This one just has LTPO. The phone 2A is said to have a 50 megapixel dual camera setup. This has a 50 megapixel dual camera setup. It's going to have a 4900 milliamp per hour battery. I believe this one's right around the same, 4900, maybe 5000 milliamp battery. So where do they cut the costs? Probably like most companies do, and probably in the UFS storage department. It might not have wireless charging. The selfie camera might be a little worse, or lower resolution. So I'm really anticipating this device. I want to see where they price it at, because if it's going to share similar specs with this, I think this one was right at about $712. Now, this is the 12 gig 256 storage variant. Storage has not come out, or leaks have not come out on the storage for this phone 2A. I'm hoping they'll probably do an 8 gig 128 base. I'm hoping they have a 12 gig 256, or at least probably 12 256, which then kind of defeats the whole purpose, right, of having a cheaper watered down phone, because it's like, well, if you're going to have the same specs as this, then why would you buy this if it's priced more, right? Just buy the 2A. So I'm very interested to see where they take this, where they cut their costs, and at what price point they're going to introduce it to the market, because it's going to be up against some very, very stiff competition in the Google Pixel A series. I believe the 7A starts at, I think it's $499. The Pixel 8A is just a few months away. That's going to be badass and probably start right around $499. So it's going to have very stiff competition, but I do have faith in Nothing. I do have faith in Carl Pei. This device had a rocky start with me, and 6 months later, it's like my favorite phone. I can't stop using it. I've been meaning to put my SIM card out of here and back into my Pixel for like the last week, and I don't want to put this thing down. I love it. So I will keep you updated, and as soon as we get leaks and more information, I will certainly make a video about it and tell you about it.